Now at 5, RTV6 getting results. The Indiana Attorney General is taking action against the owners of a mobile home park. It all began when residents reached out to us.
A deadly plane crash near Kokomo. The investigation just turned up a surprising development that could turn the case in a new direction.
The man who wants to be the next mayor of Indianapolis is already starting to form his cabinet. His choice for police chief if he wins.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
All of a sudden, I'm told we gotta leave, just out from nowhere.
Tonight, following a series of RTV6 reports, the state is making a move suing an Indianapolis mobile home park after residents say they were forced to pack up and leave. We were first to expose this problem in August and have been closely following developments since.
Today, Attorney General Curtis Hill came to the park himself to tell the residents they are getting help.
RTV6's Stephanie Wade is live at the I-70 mobile home park on the southwest side to explain what comes next here. Stephanie.
Mark and Amanda, folks were given just 60 days to pack up and move out of this mobile home park and told nothing else. Well, about 2 months ago, we reached out to a lawyer who encouraged people to file complaints with the Attorney General's office. And today, it looks like that worked. Attorney General Curtis Hill came to the park himself, handing out notices to residents that he was able to obtain a temporary restraining order against the owners of the park. Blue Lakes Incorporated, citing several violations, including deceptive consumer sales and exploiting senior citizens. Now, this prevents the owners from closing or excavating the park and shutting off any utilities for residents until the 18th. Then a judge will decide what happens next.
Weight off my head and shoulders, I tell you.
The consumers became aware of their opportunity to work this process through our office by their work with the media. Good. Thank you.
Now, the hearing is set for next Friday, October 18th. Curtis Hill tells me that nothing will happen to these people's homes until the judge makes their decision. This is a story we will stay on top of. Working for you tonight, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie, thank you. And you just heard the Attorney General say his office became aware of the situation through the media. Working for you, RTV6 was the first station to shine the light on the issues at the mobile home park. We want to show you how we reached this point, which led to the Attorney General's office filing a lawsuit against the owners of the property. In early August, Blue Lakes Incorporated told residents they had to either move their mobile homes from the property or they would be demolished on October 15th. On August 21st, residents called RTV6 looking for help after being left with a list of questions and few answers on why they had to leave the property. Some of them told us they paid months in advance to rent the plot their home sits on.
Our web address is nclegalclinic.org.
On August 27th, we brought a lawyer to the park to give the residents some legal advice. He supplied them with complaint forms to file with the AG's office. Then on September 3rd, the mayor's office and elected officials held a resource fair to help residents with things like legal clinic services and housing assistance. Then last night, nearly 2 months after RTV6 brought this story to the forefront, Attorney General Curtis Hill announces he is going after Blue Lakes for several violations. And the story is just one example of how we work to get results for you. If you are up against a problem that seems hopeless, connect with us. RTV6 is here to help you. Send a message to workingforyou@rtv6.com or reach out to us at the phone number on your screen.
RTV6 has just received some new information regarding the possible cause of a deadly plane crash near Kokomo last weekend. A preliminary report from the National Transportation Safety Board says the plane was apparently filled with the wrong type of fuel. We don't know if this was a mistake or deliberately done. Hopefully we'll learn more as additional details are released. That crash happened around 5 o'clock Saturday at the corner of State Road 22 and County Road 300 East. Dr. Daniel Greenwald of Tampa, Florida was flying the twin-engine plane when it went down into a soybean field. Breaking news tonight just in from the Indiana Health Department reporting 2 new vaping-related deaths in the state. The health department is not saying where in the state these deaths occurred, but says they were 2 adults who died from severe lung injuries linked to vaping. Indiana is currently investigating 75 cases of severe lung injury linked to vaping in people ages 16 to 29, and the number of cases has doubled in a month. The state health department is urging anyone who is currently vaping to consider stopping.
A search underway right now for a missing Indianapolis man. The sense of urgency is even higher because his family says Elijah Juan Brookins has been diagnosed with epilepsy and needs medical assistance. He was last seen on October 7th at his home in the 300 block of North DeQuincy Street. If you have seen him, call IMPD or Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
A Northeast Side gas station at the center of a mystery tonight. A woman's body was found near a gas pump at the station near 30th and Midhofer around 6:30 this morning. For now, police will only say she was an older woman and she suffered some sort of trauma, but they're not sure if that trauma had anything to do with her death. We're waiting on the coroner to make that determination. A former Marion County deputy prosecutor is facing domestic battery-related charges tonight. Jeremy Johnson was formally charged this week with criminal confinement, strangulation, and domestic battery in the presence of a child. Marion County prosecutor Ryan Mears requested a special prosecutor in this case. Johnson resigned yesterday prior to his arrest.
He may not be in office yet, but Republican mayoral candidate Jim Merritt has announced who he wants to be the next chief of IMPD. Merritt says he will ask Democrat Bill Benjamin to be his chief if he is elected mayor next month. Benjamin is a 27-year IMPD veteran, rising as high as deputy chief with the department. Most recently, Benjamin lost the Democratic primary for Marion County Sheriff in 2018 to Kerry Forrestal.
I'm asking this prominent Democrat to join us because these issues are bigger than party. Whether he votes for me or he is the right person to serve our city.
Hochstadt's campaign has responded to Merritt's announcement today. A campaign spokesperson defended current chief Brian Roach by saying, quote, Mayor Hochstadt continues to believe there is no better person to lead our police force.
More clouds around today, but we are still sitting on the warm side of things. In fact, temperature in Columbus has made it into the lower 80s, 80 degrees for you in Muncie and 77 in downtown. But you can find that cold front pretty prominent here off to the west. Temperatures back in the Dakotas are more than about 40 degrees cooler than they are here. And there's some snow back there. We're not going to get quite that cold, but you do see there are some rain showers. They've been trying to make their way towards central Indiana, but not quite having a whole lot of luck here. Kind of drying up around Champaign. That said, an isolated shower, rumble of thunder, not out of the question here as we go through the next few hours this evening. But for most of us, it will be dry with mostly cloudy skies, and those temperatures are going to continue to stay very mild. We're in the 70s all the way through 10 o'clock with our sun setting here at 7:14. We've got more rain chances, though, in your Friday forecast. We'll take an hour-by-hour look in a few minutes.
The 2019 Marion County tax sale that was supposed to start today is indefinitely on hold. Officials say a clerical error has forced them to cancel the sale originally set for today and tomorrow. All agencies involved in the tax sale are mapping out the process for a possible reschedule in early 2020. Officials say parcels eligible for sale in 2019 may be offered in the future should they remain eligible. Bidders with money on deposit will be refunded their deposits by the end of the week. Marion County could miss out on at least $6 million because of the cancellation.
Purdue University just adopted a sweeping new sports wagering policy. It bans all faculty, staff, and non-athlete students from gambling on sporting events involving any Purdue teams, coaches, or student athletes. Officials say they want Purdue to be a place where student athletes do not have to worry about being treated as a source of inside information to be used to enhance earnings from gambling. The policy applies to wagers placed worldwide and online. Faculty and staff violators of the rule would face discipline up to and including termination. Officials expect the policy to be formally adopted within the next week or two.
The impeachment investigation continues to pick up steam. Now there are indictments against two people linked to the president's lawyer. The latest coming up here.
The man who says he was standing his ground when he shot another man over a parking space. Tonight he learns how long he will be behind bars.
Rain is on the way, and it is certainly needed here in central Indiana on Friday, picking up around a half an inch of wet weather. We'll take a closer look at when you can expect to have that rain move through your backyard. You're watching RTV6 News at 5.
Apply today at speedway.com.
Now the latest in the impeachment investigation. Two men who reportedly assisted Rudy Giuliani in his efforts to get Ukrainian officials to investigate Joe Biden and his son have been arrested on campaign finance charges. Here's ABC's Inez de la Cuerta with more.
Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, two men who reportedly helped the president's personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani in his efforts to get Ukrainian officials to investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter, arrested last night at Dulles International Airport as they were trying to leave the country, according to a Department of Justice official. The indictment shows the two were charged for allegedly violating campaign finance laws by trying to funnel $1 to $2 million from a Russian national to U.S. politicians at the state and federal level.
They sought political influence not only to advance their own financial interests, but to advance the political interests of at least one foreign official, a Ukrainian government official who sought the dismissal of the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine.
Trump's legal team tells ABC News, as the indictment makes clear, neither the president nor the campaign were aware of these allegations. Today, Fruman and Parnas were also subpoenaed by House Democrats for documents and testimony. Giuliani was not named in the indictment and has not immediately responded to ABC's request for comment on these arrests. But Giuliani was subpoenaed earlier this week by House Democrats who are seeking documents related to Ukraine.
Giuliani's been involved up to his neck in this entire mess.
This as a new Fox News poll shows 51% of registered voters now say they want to see the president impeached and removed from office, while the Ukrainian president continues to insist there was no blackmail in that July phone call he had with President Trump.
This is not corruption because it was just call.
Tomorrow, Congress expects the former ambassador to Ukraine, who was removed by the Trump administration, to show up for a deposition, though it's still unclear whether the State Department might try to block her testimony. Inez de la Cuetera, ABC News, Washington.
And U.S. Senator Mike Braun has responded to the impeachment inquiry to RTV6 today.
Braun was in town finishing up his 92-county tour across the state where he met with Hoosiers about the issues. The Republican senator won Indiana in 2018 with a little more than 50% of the vote. We asked him where he stands on the impeachment inquiry.
I think the transcript, you can either read it to where it was inappropriate and it's not impeachable, which is what I say. You know, I would not have broached that subject had I been president, but we got a president that's not a politician.
Braun also said he's concerned the impeachment inquiry will take up too much time and federal lawmakers won't get to other things.
Today, a Florida judge sentenced a man to 20 years in prison for shooting a man in a fight over a handicapped parking spot. Michael Draka had used Florida's Stand Your Ground law to justify the shooting. It was all caught on surveillance video. Marquise McLaughlin shoved Draka to the ground. He appeared to be stepping back when Draka opened fire. Draka then invoked the Stand Your Ground law, which allows for the use of lethal force if you believe your life to be in imminent jeopardy. Now, authorities originally released Draka with no charges. Protesters then took to the streets. Prosecutors then reversed the sheriff's decision, charging him with manslaughter. Investigators say Draka had fought with other drivers in the past, even threatening to shoot a different man over a handicapped parking spot at the same store. Today in court, McLaughlin's family said they are grateful to get justice, but still filled with rage at their loss.
And if just so happened that the Lord chooses to take me before I come to terms with this, then I will see you in hell. Well, you and I, we will finish this. Mark my words.
The McLaughlin family attorney called the ruling historic, saying this was not only justice for them, but also for other unarmed black men who had been killed in Florida under the state's Stand Your Ground law.
So it's a little cooler out there, but just be thankful we're not dealing with this. Bismarck, North Dakota, got hit with a big snowstorm this morning. Police responded to dozens of car crashes. A number of flights at Bismarck Airport were canceled or delayed. It's the first of its expected to be 2 waves of a snowstorm. The storm could break October snow records across much of the Dakotas as it intensifies and dumps up to 2 feet of snow through Friday night. The National Weather Service calls this a potentially historic October winter storm.
It's October.
I know.
Right. I feel they got cheated out of fall.
Fall is just getting started.
How do you go trick-or-treating in that?
You don't.
Well, the good thing is it is October, so it'll melt pretty quick up there. But
my goodness.
That said, that's why fall, it's not my favorite time of year because we know what's coming.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Eventually. But for now, we're enjoying some mild temperatures. We do have some impactful weather coming our way, not in the form of snow, but on Friday we will have some rain around the area, most widespread as we get into the afternoon and evening. And then going into Saturday morning, what comes in behind the rain, some some chilly temperatures, the coldest we've had since April, with low temperatures into the 30s to start off the weekend. Certainly some of that colder air is going to really start to pop some of the color here as we check out the hills of Brown County right now. A little bit of color, but still a lot of green on the trees. Our temperature 77 downtown, but you're still holding on to 80 degrees in the Muncie area. We've had the clouds increasing throughout the day, but you notice we're dry. Most of the rain is still back into Illinois and will remain that way for much of the evening. 61 will be our overnight low temperature. Keep in mind our average high is in the middle and upper 60s, so not too far from that tonight with just that stray shower, mostly cloudy conditions as we go through this evening. This is 10:30. An isolated shower or storm may make its way through, but you also notice as it does so, it will continue to kind of fade away as it progresses to the east. A little better chance of rain as we start off our Friday morning with some scattered showers, a couple of isolated rumbles of thunder. We're not expecting any severe weather here on Friday, but you do notice as we go throughout the day, hour by hour, we do have that chance of rain pretty much throughout the day here. Maybe a little more widespread again as we go into the second half of our Friday. Temperatures, though, still going to be on the mild side as we make our way into the lower 70s in much of central Indiana. A little cooler for you, Lafayette at 68, but you'll make it into the middle 70s in Columbus and 74 in Muncie. We pick up TrueCast again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. There's some of those showers, isolated storms, so take along the umbrella in the morning and may want to allow a little bit of extra travel time. Lunch hour, some light scattered showers around, but then as we get into the evening rush hour, once again, we'll have some scattered showers, and I do think we'll have some rain impacting some of the football games tomorrow night. May not have much in the way of thunderstorm activity, so that is a good thing. We'll limit the lightning and thunder threat, but you notice we start to get that clearing line moving in here pretty quickly as we go overnight Friday into Saturday. So the showers will move out, and then it's going to be a focus on the temperature even as you're heading out for some of those football games. Look at the quick drop in numbers after we get into the 70s tomorrow afternoon. 56 for that kickoff temperature. Factor in we're going to have some showers. It's going to feel even a little bit cooler with that west wind at 15 miles per hour, and temperatures by the time we get to 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, some areas right around the upper 40s. And by Saturday morning, as we clear things out a little bit, temperatures down into the lower 30s. Peru at 34, 33 degrees in Lafayette, and 37 in Indianapolis. May have some patchy frost out there, but I do think we may have enough of a breeze that it will keep much in the way of widespread frost. Still, if you've got some plants you want to kind of nurse along a little bit longer here, may want to protect those going into Saturday morning, because after that we do start to warm things up a little bit. Saturday stays cool, though, with mostly sunny skies, 56, then 65 Sunday afternoon. So things will bounce back pretty nicely here as we go through the 7-day planning forecast. Middle 60s for highs Monday and Tuesday, but Tuesday's that next chance for some rain, and that brings in some cooler temperatures that are going to stick around for a little bit. Middle of next week, highs are back in the 50s again.
All right, as we go to break here, I want you guys to think of some of the germiest places that might be around.
In your house.
In your place.
Think about it.
Oh, that might be one. So we'll have that list that just came out right after this break.
Germaphobe, too.
Keller and Keller.
Hello and a very good day to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV Live, and we're bringing you live coverage of a murder trial happening right now in Tallahassee, Florida. Defendant Catherine McBanawa, she is accused in a murder for hire plot, decided to take the stand and testify in her own defense yesterday. And today, the jury begins their deliberations, deliberating her fate and that of her co-defendant. McBanawa could spend the rest of her life in prison if she is convicted. Her co-defendant, Sigfredo Garcia, who's also the father of 2 of her children, faces the death penalty if he is convicted. McBanawa and Garcia are accused of killing an internationally known legal scholar and former Florida State University professor in a murder for hire plot that was allegedly orchestrated by victim Dan Markel's former in-laws. Another man you see here on your screen, Luis Rivera, is already in prison for his role in this plot. He has also testified against his former friend Garcia. The jury will be sequestered during their deliberations, and of course you can count on Court TV Live for bringing you the verdict live as soon as it is rendered. And as always, you can count on us for live gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
You can learn more about the other cases around the nation right now at courttv.com. Well, think you know where the dirtiest place in your house is? Well, you might be scrubbing in the wrong place.
Experts say when it comes to the bathroom, don't just focus on scrubbing the toilet. It's actually cleaner than you think. They say if you want to cut down the bacteria in the rest of the room, make sure you close the lid before you flush. Fecal matter can get tossed several feet in the air, which means your toothbrush, makeup, and even towels could get hit.
Oh, that's gross when you put it like that. Speaking of those towels, though, those moist cloths are the perfect place for bacteria like E. coli to grow. So make sure you wash them with hot water every 3 or 4 days. In the kitchen, those rags and sponges used to wipe down everything are perfect for collecting bacteria like E. coli and salmonella.
Think you can just throw them in the microwave or dishwasher to clean? Think again. Your best bet is to just replace them weekly.
Weekly? That's interesting. Weekly.
I'm already like this in my house.
Who's ready for dinner? Coming up, all news 6 here on RTV6, a major development and a deadly hit-and-run case that we just told you about 2 days ago. But police still have more homework to do in the death of a 14-year-old boy. Details tonight at 6.
But first on the Now, India push is underway to make sure everyone in our community has access to digital and online banking. You're watching RTV6. We'll be right back.